Hello. Today's presentation is all about time management. My name is Rose-Davidson from rosedavidson.com, and today I will be sharing with you 10 effective time management skills. Some of the presentation is taken from a Tony Robbins presentation. So I hope you enjoyed today, and let's get started. So I'm just wondering, have you ever wondered how it is that some people seem to have enough time to do everything that they want to, whereas others are always rushing from task to task and never seem to finish anything? It cannot be that some people have less to do. It's just that it's more likely that they are using their time more effectively, and in other words, they're showing good time management skills. And time management is the ability to use your time productively and effectively. And you can also think of it as an art of having time to do everything that you need to do without feeling stressed out about it. So it sounds really simple, but it's hard to practice. And I know because some of my time management skills really aren't the best, and I could really do them with some improvement. So who am I, and my why? Am I here? And so I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an online event manager. I'm a podcast host and producer, a live stream presenter and producer, an Amazon #1 international bestseller, a Brains magazine executive contributor and award winner, and a co-founder of Healing Through Love, which is a domestic and violence awareness initiative in Adelaide. Spending more than 35 years in high-level admin roles and in the corporate world, I started my business in 2015, and my passion really is in being visually creative. So I now provide these online services to speakers, consultants, coaches, and small business owners, and I help them to create memorable online experiences. I've done a couple of live presentations. I've done a few trainings in, well, I don't know what that Davidson to Davidson is, but anyway, there we go. Just noticed that. I've done a couple of trainings in Susie's groups, so I'm really happy that she's allowed me to come back. I've also presented my story of childhood sexual abuse on 2 occasions, and that was with Her Story International Women's Online Summit this year, and the International Women's Day Global Online Summit. And as I alluded to previously, I'm a published co-author of She Is Magic Always, which reached #1 in 8 countries. I'm the executive contributor at Brains magazine and a 2021 official honoree of the Brains CREA Global Awards. I'm a podcast host of Talking with the Experts, and that's available everywhere. I'm the producer and host of Survivors TV, which is a TV live stream for survivors of all types of abuse. And I'm producer and host of the Healing Through Love show on My Home TV, which is seen on Apple, Sony, Roku, Panasonic, and Amazon Fire. So I'm pretty much everywhere. So, and what gives me the expertise to talk about time management is because I'm not good at time management at all. Well, not at all, but most of the time. Well, I don't think I am, but I seem to get through my tasks okay, and I'm not very stressed out about them, but I don't know if that's good time management or not. But I guess because I've been in the corporate world for so long, and I've been a trainer on various other topics, I'm pretty sure that I'm qualified to teach this today. So the importance of time management is that these are it's an essential skill, because few, if any of us, have ever had enough time to do everything that is asked of us or that we want to do. And time management is defined as using your time productively and efficiently. And but what about when you're working as productively as you can and you still can't get everything done? Well, it may be better to think about time management as a combination of working productively and prioritizing your time. So, in other words, people who are good at time management are good at getting on and doing things. They're also, however, better at prioritizing and working out what really needs doing and then discarding all the other stuff. So, they can do this because they understand the difference between urgent and important, and there is a difference between those two. So urgent tasks demand your immediate attention, which may or may not matter, and important tasks matter, and doing them may have serious consequences to you and to others. So urgent is they need attention, and important is that if you don't do them, then everything could go pear-shaped. So answering the phone, for instance, is urgent. If you don't do it, the caller will ring off or hang up, and you don't know why they called, and it might be important. However, it may also be an automated voice telling you that you may be eligible for some compensation for having missold your insurance. So that's not important. Going to the dentist regularly is important, or so we're told. And if you don't, you may get gum disease or some other problems. But it's not urgent unless you've got, a root canal, or, your tooth's fallen out, or that, then that's urgent. But if you leave it too long, however, it may become urgent because you may get a toothache. So I hope that sort of clears up between urgent and important. So picking up your children from school is both urgent and important. So if you're not there at the right time, of course, they'll be waiting in the playground or in the classroom worrying about where you are. So you may also inconvenience others by being late, and it's not really appropriate to be late to pick your children up unless something important has come up. So reading funny mails or checking Facebook is neither urgent nor is it important. So why is it the first thing that we ever do? It's because I guess we want to see if what's happening in the world, what our friends are doing. If you're looking at your business page, then, you want to see who's come on and liked it. You want to see, the stats of the page, how it's performing, da-da-da. But is it important or is it urgent? So there is a distinction between urgent and important, and this is the key to prioritizing your time and your workload, whether at home or at work or even when you're studying. It helps you to work out what to do first, and then what can be left until later, or perhaps not done at all. So for example, if you leave an urgent but unimportant task, you may find that it becomes unnecessary. And using a grid like this one to this is like a priority matrix, I guess. It can help you to organize your tasks into their appropriate categories. So you need to categorize them as which of my tasks needs doing within the next 48 hours, for say. Those are the urgent tasks. So you need to ask yourself, how urgent is this task? And then you need to do it first. Of the urgent tasks, which ones are more important? It's a really great idea to list your tasks in order of importance, and rather than just giving them an absolute, important, not important distinction, so that that you can work through them in a more efficient manner. Of the non-urgent tasks, which ones are more important? So again, it's a good idea to list things in order of importance, and rather than giving them an absolute distinction. Now that you've done all that, now use the answers to these questions, to the questions like, so start with the do first box. Crucially, don't put off urgent or important things just because they are unpleasant to do. That's called procrastination, and I'm sure we're all very guilty of doing that. I put my hand up. I've been tasked. Well, I haven't been tasked. I offered to make the wedding invitations for my son's wedding next year. Now I've had them since March, I guess. Now it's now September, and I've only got 60 to do, but I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Finally, I got down to 10, so I've only got 10 more to do. They have to be done by the end of this month. So procrastinating. I don't know why I was procrastinating, but I guess it's an important task, but it wasn't urgent. For example. Okay. So then you need to look at the less urgent but still important tasks and decide what you're going to do, and then schedule time into your diary or into your day, and do them or consider delegating them to someone else. Yeah, delegation. Love that word, delegation. Now eliminate the non-urgent and the non-important tasks. Finally, do the work. Start your do first list. Then you finish it. When you finish that, move on to the scheduled work or the tasks. If there are more tasks that you manage into any of those little quadrants, it's time to actually do some, delegate some, or eliminate some, or just get rid of them altogether. Don't even worry about them. Scrub them off your list. Regularly cutting back on your in your matrix will make sure that you can focus on what really matters and keep all your tasks flowing, keep your day flowing, and makes everybody happy, especially you, because then you'll be less stressed. There is a warning coming with this, however. Urgency and or importance is not a fixed status. So I'll just repeat that. Urgency and or importance is not a fixed status. You should review your task list regularly to make sure that nothing should be moved up, or it can be moved down, or can be deleted as it may become less urgent and more important, or more important and less urgent. So what can you do if an important task continually gets bumped down the list by more urgent but still important tasks? Well, first consider whether it is genuinely important. Does it actually need doing at all, or have you just been telling yourself that you ought to do it? If it is really, really important, then consider delegating it. And this is where onboarding comes on. It's an individual judgment, and so the urgency and or importance of a task is not absolute. Only you, the person who is making the decision, can decide what you really think is important or is urgent. Some people, for example, prefer to wait until they are asked a second time for a piece of work before they start doing it. to me, I don't like to ask a second time. I guess maybe I'm a bit of a control freak. I don't know. But if I give someone a task, I really don't like to go back and ask, have they started it yet? Because, well, I guess to me it's urgent. To them it's important. So, or to me it's important and to them it's urgent. I don't know. But that's how it is. I've often been, I mean, I'm like the wedding invitations to my son's partner. It's important because she wants to get them out. To me, it's not on my urgent list. So, our priorities are different. So some people, for example, prefer to wait until they're asked a second time, as I said. And if they are never asked again, well, they just won't start the work. They simply decide that it's not important enough for anyone to spend any time on. And so it's an individual judgment. They've decided that it's not necessary to do the job, yet the person who wants the job done needs it done, but they haven't asked to push the priority up of the other person. So remember also that you and your health are important, and through the last 18 months, it's been much more important than it was in the past because of everything that's been going on. So just because you have lots to do, it doesn't mean that you can't do some exercise, you can't go for a 10-minute walk or make time to eat properly. That is just as important as getting your tasks done. You should not ignore your mental health in favour of more urgent activities, because if you're not healthy, you haven't got a business, basically, because you can't work. So just bear that in mind. So how to improve time management? Have you ever found yourself using the phrase, there just aren't enough hours in the day? Yeah, I've used it quite a lot. I'm sure you have too. Everyone feels this way from time to time, whether you're a working parent, you're a busy entrepreneur, a student, or some other human in our fast-paced world. Now think about it this way. Everyone has the same amount of hours in the day. True? So what separates the Warren Buffetts from the rest of us? The answer is time management skills. There are many things in life that are outside of our control, as we know, but how you spend your time is not one of them. Using your hours to work toward the outcomes you value the most will help you to not only bring success to yourself and your business, you will also sustain a feeling of fulfillment that comes from accomplishing your goals. Doesn't it feel good when you've reached a goal? You just feel, oh my God, the whole world's shiny and bright. So the first step towards learning how to improve time management is realizing that it's a mental game that anyone can master. Anyone. So how do we improve time management? To make the most of your time and achieve the life that you dream of, you must create a mental shift here in how you think about time management. Stop thinking of time as a resource that's out of your control, because it's not. It's true that there are a limited number of hours in the day, but you can develop time management skills to focus your attention on what really matters. So I'm going to share with you 11 ways to improve time management to allow your brain to zero in on the highest value outcomes without getting swept away by all the distractions that we have. Those nice shiny objects, and Susie will know exactly what those shiny objects are, because her and I share a love of them. So I've gained this information from Tony Robbins, from one of his talks. So they do align with how time management is done, and how we should practice it. So you need to align your focus. So where focus goes, energy flows, Tony says. And the first step is getting clear on what it is that you really want, and then aligning your ultimate goals with the actions you need to take today. If the tasks that you need to complete aren't aligned with what is truly matters to you, or your core values, of course, then you'll never find the time to do them. So this is a methodology that he teaches in his rapid planning method. This is where these notes came from. So by focusing on an outcome, you develop the motivation and the organisation needed to meet your goals. So what do you consider your ultimate goals? If you've listed, a heap of things, then take a pause. Stop. Just stop. Desist. Cease. An endless list of goals is the same thing as having no goals. You need to ask yourself, what actions produce the most value? What outcomes address your true wants in life? And once you have direction to move in, you'll get a better sense of what actions deserve your attention and which ones don't. Use chunking. So what is chunking? Well, better time management skills start with zeroing in on what you really want, whether that's strengthening your relationship, accelerating your career, starting your own business, or living a healthier lifestyle. From there, create smaller goals that all ladder up to your desired end result. So most of your stress is because you're thinking about too many things all at once, and that's true. If you're facing an overwhelming number of tasks around an outcome, remember that you can create better to-do lists by chunking. And chunking is, I'll explain that, which means you chunk all related tasks into a group, into little smaller chunks, so that they're easy to manage and tackle. So I guess learning a new skill, you don't just go holus bolus in learning this new skill. You learn it a little bit at a time. So that's called chunking. Because at the end of the day, when you've chunked all these little lessons or modules into the whole unit, then you've learned something. So yeah, and so learning the whole unit is your desired outcome. And it will help you to visualize better by chunking, and help you to identify the steps you need to take to reach your goals. So as I said, using each little module within a unit is leading to your desired outcome. You need to determine your priorities. So how do you know where to direct your energy in order to see the results that you want? Well, how do you know if you're truly working towards your core values? Conduct a core values audit. Track your activities for 2 weeks, taking note of which core values your actions connect with, and then audit yourself with a keen, and really look at it as you evaluate how to move closer to your goals. I haven't got a story for that one. The cards. Yes, invitations. If I had started doing little ones at a time, like a few at a time, then I'd be finished by now. But it wasn't high on my priority list. But it's high on my son's partner's list. So once you have several weeks of progress written down, so remember to write your task down for 2 weeks to see if they align with your core values. So once you've done this for several weeks, Take a really good look at how you've been spending your time. So eliminate any activity that's not connected to your core values and to your goals. And replace these activities, like checking your social media too frequently, with something that serves your ultimate plan, like cooking healthy meals or regularly exercising. So after several weeks of practice, you'll find you don't miss the time-consuming tasks that you eliminated. Makes perfect sense. You need to set SMART goals, which, as you know, are specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic. And they're anchored within a time frame. And time. Be clear with the outcome you plan to achieve and designate the time needed to reach your goal. Rather than just telling yourself that you want to lose weight this year, set a clear goal. 1 kilo a week, 2 kilos a week. So if you set a clear goal, then you're more likely to stick with it, rather than if you just said, I want to lose 50 kilos. That seems really daunting. So, but little bits, little bits, little bits. And before you know it, you've reached your 50 kilos and, it wasn't really a challenge. But please don't forget to be realistic. I mean, in the weight loss or with anything, when you do it, but you have to do it strategically. Now, if you tell yourself, for instance, you're going to go from a middle manager to the CEO of the company, that's a really huge goal to set for yourself, but it might take longer than 6 months. If that's what you've set your time frame for 6 months, don't think. So by being specific with your outcomes and having clarity on what they are and why you want them, you can have laser guided focus, so that you can achieve the goals that you've set out. It'll make you feel a greater sense of fulfillment when you do hit these objectives one by one by one, just like stepping stones. Number 5, learn to say no. Learn to say no. No, it's only 2 letters, N-O. Saying no to other things is crucial to great time management skills. And you have to become comfortable with saying no to things that don't help you reach your goals. When you say no to something that isn't really adding value to your life or supporting your core values or your goals, you are saying yes to something else that is, for example, time to be with your family, exercise, or even get some much needed sleep. If saying no to something seems hard, think about a time when you reluctantly said yes to something and later regretted it. Like you didn't really feel like it, but you said yes to your friend about going to her party, but you didn't really want to go. In the end, you either did the task or went to the party begrudgingly. You didn't really want to go, even though you didn't have the time or the resources to go to this party, or you flaked out because you were overcommitted. You were, just went to sleep, and they forgot to ring her and say that you couldn't go. So saying no in the first place is heaps easier and saves you time to focus on what really matters to you. If the party isn't important or urgent, or it's not something that you want to do, then say no. I'm sure she'll forgive you, or the other person will forgive you, because in the end, you don't want to be doing something that you hate doing. The 6th one is to minimize distractions and those shiny objects, yes. Think of minimizing distractions as a way of saying no. So what's distracting to you? Is it your emails, your texts, your social media? What is it? Whatever it is, say no. Eliminate the distraction and the stress that comes from it. Because if started to do something, or you need to do something, then you get stuck in scrolling through Facebook and you realize 2 hours have passed and you've just wasted 2 hours. Is that really a good use of your time? So if you work in an office, put up a do not disturb sign when you've got things that you need to do, or put your phone on do not disturb, or get the other app where you can't look at your social media between certain times of the day. Just remember that time is yours, so take control of your workspace and the time that you can be productive. And quite often we allow ourselves to lose focus and be interrupted as a crutch when we're experiencing something that's a little bit uncomfortable, like boredom or frustration or lack of interest, for instance. And these are learned addictive responses, according to Tony. And we can learn to overcome them and to change our behaviour by employing effective time management skills instead of backing down when tasks become challenging. And then I go back to the invitations. I didn't chunk it down. If I'd have chunked it, it wouldn't have been so daunting. Cut back on instant answers. So if you have trouble saying no, one of the best ways to improve time management is stop answering things immediately. So think about it. A lot of times people ask us to do something and we instantly say yes because we haven't thought about it for a start because it's an instant response. Or quite often we just want to please the other person. We say yes so they'll leave us alone so we can get on with our work, but you don't really want to do the task. So by doing that, you've made a commitment that you're stuck with, and it doesn't make you happy. So alternatively, instead of answering right away and providing a response that you'll most likely regret later, step away from the email or tell the person that you'll need to think about it. Now, people don't like to say that because then they start to freak out. What's to think about, blah, blah, blah. But it's your time, remember, then you need to use it wisely. So try not instantly committing to for a month. Just try it for a month. See how you go. It's only 4 weeks. 28 days. 4 weeks, 28 days. 30 days, 31 days. It's not a great amount of time. Instead, take time and ensure that you only commit to tasks or activities that support your core values and your goals. If something someone asks you to do doesn't align with these values and goals, be bold and politely decline. At the end of the month, have a look at what you've done, your progress, and how much time did you save really? How much more fulfilled do you feel with what you have accomplished by simply saying no and keeping away from those distractions? Number 8, hold yourself accountable. Time management are happening in the world all the time, and they're absolutely pointless if you don't hold yourself accountable. So suppose that you want to, strengthen your relationship with your partner, for instance, and you decide to use an hour of your day to give that person the attention that they deserve. But as you're sitting there, your phone vibrates in your pocket. What do? Partner, phone. Partner, phone. Instead of checking your phone, you need to stay committed to your partner because you've committed this 1 hour to your partner. The other thing can wait. By staying focused on your end goal, which was to spend time with your partner and make them feel appreciated, loved and wanted, and just letting the phone conversation wait for an hour, you'll get the outcome that speaks the most to your core values, which was spending time with your partner, and gives you more fulfillment than checking your phone. Spending time with your partner, if that is what you're wanting to do, is better than answering a phone call that could be just a telemarketer. Who knows? Use the 20-minute rule. We've all heard about the 20-minute rule. So when you feel in the zone and you just want to get the things done, you can be totally unstoppable. But when you get in the zone, you tend to, well, I do anyway, when I get into that space, I just tend to keep going and don't take a break. And I could be sitting here for 5 hours and think, oh my God, I've just done all this time sitting here and I haven't even got up and made a coffee. My goodness. So get your mind ready. Let yourself know you're about to focus on something important. Prepare to tackle the task and set an alarm for 20 minutes. And until your alarm rings, give the task everything that you've got without distractions. When the alarm goes off, decide whether you're going to put the task down or you're going to finish it. But take a small break. Remember to take the break every 20 minutes and repeat the process until the task is completed. That way, you're chunking it into smaller bite-sized pieces. Working on your tasks in these 20-minute chunks helps you to pull yourself into the zone as needed. And hopefully you won't get distracted by those shiny objects. And over time, you'll be able to slip into this mindset all by yourself without having to use the alarm clock. One of my greatest topics, this one. Outsource. If you want to be the best, most efficient version of yourself possible, outsource tasks. Outsource them. It's a critical skill that every successful entrepreneur and Fortune 500 CEO has to master, and so do you. So when you can delegate tasks, then do it. Really, it's got to save you from all the stress of trying to cram everything into your day when it's something that someone else could be doing while you get on with something else. So, if you're thinking about doing, a lot of tasks, as I said before, delegate what's not urgent, delegate those ones. So, your books, for instance, unless you're like really behind in them, and it's important that you get them to the taxation to pay your BAS or whatever. But things like bookkeeping can be delegated. Graphic creation can be delegated because they're not really important. They could be urgent, but they're certainly not important. Take a break. Remember to take a break. It's always really important. This is the final step is in the time management skills. It seems counterintuitive to take a break, but it isn't. The world's most successful people know the importance of occasionally checking out, taking a break, revitalizing yourself. For instance, Warren Buffett plays bridge and practices ukulele in his spare time, and Oprah Winfrey meditates, and Simon Cowell climbs trees and watches cartoons, for heaven's sake. Who would have thought Simon Cowell watched cartoons? The point is, sometimes the best thing you can do is give yourself and your brain a break from the task that is that you're trying to do. So this is why we have holidays, people. Holidays. You leave your laptop at home. You only use your phone for phone calls, nothing else. FaceTime check-in, once a day or whatever. But that's it. Otherwise, it stays in your room or wherever it is that you're staying. So, effective time management skills are at the heart of a happier, healthy you. And who doesn't want that? To be happier and healthy and be more fulfilled, of course. Because if you're fulfilled, then the world is all shiny and bright and nothing can get you down. So with the right time management framework and excellent time management skills in place, you no longer have to, wonder how you can have a happy life because you've managed your time better. I hope that all made sense to you. I hope you enjoyed that presentation as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. And have learned how to manage your time more effectively following those 11 steps. I'm an online event manager and podcast mentor and trainer. So if you need some help in any of those areas, please do reach out to me. My phone number and email and my website address are showing on the screen at the moment. And my website have several packages for online event support, PowerPoint presentations, promotional videos, editing videos, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great Monday. Bye for now.